All right, this is podcast number 2, Fireside podcast number 2. It's basically what we're going to do is we're going to continue on from podcast number 1, which was about conversation and how very few people have the skill of conversation and listening and asking follow-up questions or daring to ask slightly personal questions. So my theory is that so many people are lonely, especially older men, because they never learned how to share a conversation space. And so I find a lot of lonely people, if they knew how to have conversation, they'd have more people in their lives. They would attract people. They would keep people around. They would make other people look forward to seeing them if they paid attention more, if they asked other people questions, if they showed genuine interest in other people's lives. Also, with writing, I just want to revisit this because this is part of conversation that makes you a good conversationalist. Writing, I encourage everyone to do because you uncover your thoughts, as mentioned in podcast 1, and you cultivate your own outlooks and ideologies. So few people do this. Instead, what they do is they adopt ideologies, they adopt viewpoints, they adopt outlooks, political, religious, or otherwise, based on other people's thinking, based on things that they've read or seen or heard. And that's a lazy way to go through life. We are in this vessel, in this lifetime, to learn, experience, and grow. Now, those growth-inducing experiences are worthless unless we process them, not just thinking about them, because then it doesn't go anywhere, but by writing and uncovering how we responded to an event or an experience. Because no religion is a cookie cutter for all lives. We cultivate our own outlooks and approaches to people and life and experiences through our own experiences. Therefore, we have to learn from and grow from what we've incurred, people that we've experienced, and then apply those lessons in life. And those become our own commandments. Now, as life always reminds us, there's no commandment that's always applicable in every situation. That's the thing that makes religion irrelevant at times. So if we try to apply the tenets of our dogmatic religion, we'll find that it doesn't always apply. There is always exceptions to all the rules. But we can come up with our own outlooks and rules and principles about how we want to conduct ourselves in this life. And that means conducting ourselves amongst people, because that's what a lot of religions teach, is how to treat other people. But we overlook how to treat ourselves, how to listen to ourselves, how to cultivate our own outlooks. There's no religion that ever encourages you to think for yourself. It's always listen to the scripture, listen to the minister. At a church service, it's 100 people in pews sitting and facing one way and facing one minister. It's never people sitting in circles sharing and feeling like they can be a preacher. Religions, unfortunately, don't listen. I've never met a religion that listens. And humans have the capacity to listen, but we're not necessarily constructed to just ingest the ideology or the practice of other people. We're here to cultivate our own outlooks and our own approaches to situations and people based on our own character, personality, traits, and experiences in our own personal journey. So nobody can tell you how to live. That's why self-help books are only helpful to a point. We all have to write our own self-help book based on our own set of circumstances, that being biological, psychological, and environmental. And so we've all been hurt, we've all probably been taken advantage of, we've all been cheated on, we've all been violated in some way, we've all been rejected. And so based on all of our own personal experiences and our own strengths and weaknesses, we have to come up with our own approaches to each situation. We don't need to go to a therapist for that. Writing is your therapist to help you process your pain and experiences and help you uncover lessons that you can apply to your next similar situation, person, place, or thing. So you have a conversation with yourself, but it's no good if it doesn't go anywhere. If you're just going to justify your anger towards something or your hate or your resentment, you uncover those things through writing. You have a conversation with yourself first. If you can have a conversation with yourself, which only really happens through writing, then you can have a conversation with other people. Oftentimes we're lonely because we've been disconnected from our true selves, because we haven't been told to listen to our true selves and trust our true selves. We're told to trust people externally, people outside of us, so-called experts, preachers, teachers, authority figures, leaders, influencers. None of them people want you to think for yourself or you would have no need for them. That's just more control. And we need to reject a lot of that and invent our own way of approaching situations. So you do that through writing, conversing with yourself, then you become less lonely because you get connected with your truest self, so that you know you need to express your truest self and be independent and a free thinker and a critical thinker, uninfluenced by trends and fashions. Therefore, once you're connected with yourself and you honor your truest self, you're less lonely because now you can behave in the world as your truest self. Then, with your truest self, you come up with those tenets or those principles in social situations, and you can assert yourself versus just following, not challenging, adopting the popular views of friends, family, peers, or others so that you can fit in. You won't need to fit in. If you're comfortable and connected to your truest self, then you won't have this insecure need to fit in, therefore adjust and compromise your principles. But you have to have principles first. So we oftentimes compromise principles we don't even have. We just want to get along. We want to keep the job. We want to do what the boss says. We want to do what's approved. We want to be approved because that's how you get through life effectively and successfully. But that's not our mission. Our mission is we were born an individual completely different from everybody else, and we were born to grow as much as possible because life is eternal growth. It's not about being approved. If that was our mission on earth, we could all easily be approved by just simply not talking, not voicing ourselves, not being connected with our true selves, and just going with flow, and therefore being approved and doing as told. So we saw this through the pandemic. So many people did what they were told. It's because they're actually disconnected from their truest selves and didn't have the strength, the confidence, the individuality, the personality, the character, or the confidence to question things, to cultivate their own outlooks, and then act on them. So it's easier and safer because we want to be accepted and liked and approved to just not think for ourselves, adopt other views, and then go along with the program. But that's what's gotten humanity into this current mess. So converse with yourself through writing, and then you become a better conversationalist with other people because you understand that they too are being pressured to separate from their truest selves and adopt the latest outlooks or adopt whatever political opinion allows them to become approved by their peers. So we come up with our own ethics through cultivating our own religion, which gets cultivated through writing, which is a processing of our own experiences given our character and our habits and our traits. So conformity is all about sacrificing or relinquishing our personality to be accepted by the group so that we can get along and keep the income coming, keep the friends around, and keep everyone happy and keep ourselves loved and liked. But it's all based on falseness if you're not connected to your truest self. What everyone wants is for you to live by their truths. They don't want you to challenge them. No one likes to be challenged, especially authority figures, leaders, influencers. So be your own influencer, be your own guru, cultivate your own religion, and then in conversation, you will be open-minded enough to understand that other people have their own experiences. You will inquire about those experiences, but then your own outlooks will change based on listening to people with different experiences, and you will see how they arrived at their own outlooks. And that's a beautiful thing. That's called harmony, when you're just simply listening to someone. So that's my second podcast. Until next time, have a great time.